कुमार फिर आ गए हैं एक नए एपिसोड के साथ इस मनोरंजन भरी किताब. There's so many stories, so many anecdotes. He's telling about his uncles with whom he grew up, the ones who were close, the ones who weren't that close. Amazing story. This is going to be a very simple episode. I'm just going to read through to the end of this chapter, telling you the stories of his uncles. So he's told in the last one, he told us about Rishi Kapoor. Yahoo! And now he goes on. I'll just simply read through. Another uncle I was close to was Prem Nath, my mother's brother, Mamu. Not to be confused with Prem Chopra, who is also an uncle to me. Prem Chopra is married to my mother's sister, Umma Masi. So he's also Prem Nath's brother-in-law. तो वो प्रेम नाथ के भी रिश्तेदार हैं और इनके तो खालू हैं ऋषि जी के, और प्रेम नाथ ऋषि जी के मामू हैं. तो so he's also in Bobby, Pran and Prem Chopra were cast as villain. In the climax, they are the two baddies chasing Dimple and me, with Prem Nath single-handedly fighting them off. So there was Prem Nath fighting his brother-in-law in front of the camera, with his other brother-in-law, my father, behind the camera. Like kal aaj aur kal, Bobby 2 was something of a family project. मतलब पूरा खानदान, एक मामू, एक खालू, एक अब्बा, एक बेटा, सारे ही इकट्ठे मूवी में काम कर रहे थे. नेपोटिज्म की मूवी होगी. Then he goes on. I think of Prem Nath as a god who later became a devil. Very interesting. In his later years, co-stars and other people on the set were wary of him, were wary of working with him. मतलब डरते थे लोग at the end of his career. He became unpredictable and eccentric, and my father had to constantly restrain him. We made 3 films together, Bobby, Karz and Dhan Daulat, but I never really feared him. He loved us fairly. Beena Auntie, Beena Rai, his wife, a leading actress of the black and white era, was a sweet, gentle lady, but I don't have many memories of her. So, kisse kahaniyan. Then he goes on. When we were children, we spent our holidays in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, with my maternal grandfather, Rai Sahab Kartar Nath Malhotra, Inspector General of Police, and Prem Nath, uncle. The big high for us was going to Empire Theatre, which was owned by Prem Nath, to watch adult movies such as VIP, starring Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, which we saw 14 or 15 times. The long kisses in that film amused us no end. मतलब चुमे चाटे वेकन बच्चे इसी तरह होते हैं. So the other highlight of those outings was the mutton chops, which we bought for 4 annas apiece. And then he goes on. Prem uncle cut a dashing figure in the films of the late 1940s and the 1950s and was a much in demand hero. In fact, he was cast in parallel role to Raj Kapoor in Barsat. After his run as a lead actor was over, Prem uncle returned to act in supporting roles in films such as Teesri Manzil and Johnny Mera Naam, both of which were huge hits. These films marked the beginning of his phase as a character artist, and he went on to play many memorable roles, both as villain and good Samaritan in several films, including Rota Kapra or Makan, Bobby, Shore and Dharmatra. Prem uncle may have been eccentric, but he was also very effective as an actor. He routinely improvised his costumes, and I still remember wore his own suit in Bobby. There was a scene in Bobby which we filmed at RK Studios, in which his performance was so realistic that I was momentarily terrified. After the shot, my father went over and hugged and complimented him. Papa and he were good friends. Another filmmaker who was very fond of Prem uncle was Subhash Ghai, who directed him in a memorable role in Cars as the mute villain who drummed his orders to his minions on a tumbler. वो याद है आपको मशहूर Cars का villain. Then he goes on. Uncle was a remarkable man, large-hearted and generous. He regularly supported young actors who did not have the means to survive in the industry. He had made a lot of money. He lived in Darshan Apartments, the most prestigious address in South Bombay at the time, with its own swimming pool, but gave away large chunks of it to charity. मतलब खुले दिल का, बड़े दिल का बंदा था Prem Nath. Mom's other brother, Rajendra Nath, uncle, used to treat me like a son. He married late in life, so I suppose I really did fill that space for him then. He started out wanting to be a lead actor, but ended up becoming a comedian. Uncle introduced his own unique style of acting, which became very popular, and acted in over 250 films. He was one of the top comedians of the 1960s, mastering the art of playing the sidekick in films starring Shami Kapoor, Rajendra Kumar, etc. His role as Popatlal became a landmark comic one. He wore maxis and nightshirts in the typical comic persona he established on screen. We worked together in a couple of them, including successes like Prem Rogue and Rafu Chakkar. In real life, it was very different from his screen persona. He was a quiet, reserved man who loved to daydream and kept to himself. One of the odd but vivid memories I have of him is from the time he had a bad accident on the same day that his sister Uma married Prem Chopra. Now he talks about Prem Chopra. With Premji, I had a whole other equation. He was always more than an uncle to me and is part of my inner circle of friends, along with Jatindra and Rakesh Roshan. He's a fine actor, a wonderful human being, has a terrific sense of humor and is great company. We've had a lot of fun together. There's this little game that we play whenever we speak to each other on the phone, in which we give ourselves different celebrity names. For instance, he will call me and say, Brando speaking. Or I'll tell his staff when they answer the phone, tell Prem Saab that Sonia Gandhi wants to speak with him. Nice stories. Then he goes on, Premji came from a non-film background and established himself by dint of sheer perseverance and hard work, as well as commitment to his craft. At 81, he's still an impressive personality. At the height of Rajesh Khanna's superstardom in the 1970s, Premji was among the few people to give him a run for his money in Do Raste, 1969, as he had done in Upkar, 1967, in which he was pitted against Manoj Kumar. For a man so affable and good-natured, Prem Chopra made a very effective villain. After Pran Saab, my vote for the best villain of all time in Hindi cinema would go to him. I place him even higher than Amjad Khan. Oh, that's a revelation. So he said that he was a very nice person, despite his villainous character on screen. And he rates him as the second best after Pran. So Pran is number one, and probably Prem Chopra is number two, and Gabbar Singh is number three. So I'll quickly finish this chapter. Premji has had a long and distinguished career, resulting in a phenomenal body of work. Lately, we haven't worked together as much we once did, but he's always the first to congratulate me on a good performance. If it's a bad performance, he's kind enough to make a joke of it. I was touched by his lavish praise of Ranbir's performance in Rocket Singh 2009, in which he worked alongside Ranbir. If I'm not mistaken, he's the only actor who has worked with all Kapoors. Prithvi Raj Kapoor, Raj Kapoor, Shami Kapoor, Shashi Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor, Rajiv Kapoor, Rishi Kapoor, Karishma Kapoor, Kareena Kapoor Khan, Ranbir Kapoor, not to mention the Kapoor wives, Neetu and Babita. Oi, Anni pa deti hai Kapoor adi, Prem Chopra. Then he goes on, there's another one. Our family tree was enriched exponentially when Amitabh Bachan was added to it by marriage after his daughter, Shweta, married my nephew, my sister Ritu's son, Nikhil Nanda. Amitabh, I have discovered over the years, is a cut above everyone else in everything he does. He's just so proper. Every year on 2nd June, my father's death anniversary, every member of his family calls to pay their tribute to Raj Kapoor. He religiously remembers every birthday and anniversary, is among the first to wish us on every festival. He does this because he's bound by tradition in many ways and believes that he must follow the custom as a beti wala, being from the girl's family. Sometimes I wonder I could be like him, so meticulous and thoughtful, but I know that's just wishful thinking. So Amitabh Bachchan's daughter, Shweta, is married to his nephew, Rishi Kapoor's nephew. So he tells how proper and how organized Amitabh Bachchan is, and that's another addition to his family. इधर ही सिलसिला तोड़ते हैं, अगले एपिसोड नेक्स्ट ट्यूसडे को हाजिर होंगे, अगले एपिसोड और नई किस्से नए चैप्टर के साथ. मिसेस मल्टी स्टारर्स एंड म्यूजिकल चेयर्स, सनसनीखेज स्टोरियां हैं अगले चैप्टर में, बंधे रहिए.